You see this man right here? This is Kai Sotto. This is Kai Sotto. This is a guy who's 5-6 years ago. What year are we in? We're in 2024. Maybe 6-7 years ago. Was expected to be the next, not even next great Filipino basketball player. The first great Filipino basketball player that didn't grow up through the United States like a Jordan Clarkson or a Jalen Green. He was meant to be the savior. He was a 7-foot-tall 15-year-old who had touch, who was coordinated, who could shoot the ball, who was relatively athletic. And while things didn't work out for him at the NBA level, balling out right now for the Philippines. Before we get on to things, though, if you guys are new to the channel, subscribe. We are currently trying to hit 16.2 thousand subscribers as soon as possible. But Kai Sotto, he has had a bit of a weird year. But today, the Philippines have shocked Latvia. In Latvia. Let's not get twisted. This is in Latvia. And then, obviously, the Philippines have got... You've got Justin Brownlee, who I would be absolutely shocked if he's not a... naturalized player. I still would have said, if you were them, to try convince Jalen Green to be your naturalized player. Is he naturalized? Maybe not. Is he? National team career. Yeah, he is a naturalized player, yeah. Either way, he balled out regardless. So if you want to look at the games, that's their first game. So Latvia beat Georgia by 30. And they're after losing to the Philippines. This basically means the Philippines are in a position where they can get through this group. The problem is that if they get through the group, if they beat Georgia, they're facing off against the Montenegro, who I think they can beat Montenegro. Or did Cameroon beat Montenegro? No, Montenegro just about beat Cameroon. I think they're going to beat Montenegro, the Philippines. I don't think the Philippines are going to beat Brazil to qualify. But even making the final of this tournament would be crazy. But Latvia are a really good national team. Like, they really are good. But the Philippines just blitzed them early, held on to the lead at halftime in the second quarter, and then won the third. And then it looked at one stage like the Latvians were going to get back into it. Like, Bertans hit some big shots down the stretch, had not played well up to that point. Karuks, who used to play for the Nets, I'm pretty sure, had a pretty decent game. And obviously this team doesn't have Porzingis, but they were a team that were still a bit dangerous at the World Cup. They were still a bit dangerous. But Kai Sotto, 7 of 10 from the field, 1 of 1 from 3. He had 8 boards, 1 assist, and 18 points. A very, very solid game for him. You had like CJ Perez, 11 points for Fajardo, but also it was Brownlee. Brownlee was class. Like, down the stretch, he was the guy that was hitting their shots. He was the guy that was coming up. He had a 4-point play. As Latvia were coming back in the game, he went and hit a 4-point play. So 27 points for him. 26 points for him, 9 boards, 9 assists. A near 26-point triple-double, carrying the Philippines to what could end up being the biggest win they've ever had. Unless, of course, they win the whole thing. So you can see in this game, Latvia were fighting back. Bertans hit a big shot. But the Philippines just didn't let them. They built out a lead and did not let Latvia back into this game. And it is a crazy one seeing Kai Sotto. It's a crazy one seeing Kai Sotto, who everybody thought was this, like, he was this, not even bust, but like, I would say a flop. That he was this overrated player that probably took the wrong route in making it in basketball. Like, you can see, he went to school in the Philippines, but he did go to America. You see here, in March 2019, he moved to the United States, but he was being recruited by Real Madrid. Real Madrid wanted him, especially because of the type of player he was. I would have thought a couple of years at Real Madrid would have really helped him. And you could see, like, he ended up going to the Skill Factory in Atlanta, and it says in his debut, one day later he scored 18 and 12 and a loss to IMG. So he was that guy in high school. He was a 4-star recruit. Like, look, he was the 65th ranked recruit in the 2020 recruiting class. He's a 7'3" guy with touch. He's 7'3" athletic with some touch. And it just didn't work out. He just was not ready. He was not ready to play in the Ignite. And then he ended up being a G League player for a couple of years. After not being allowed. Oh, no, sorry, not G League. Sorry, he went to Australia. I mean, I don't think he was... Was he allowed? He was allowed to play there. And now he's playing in Japan. He said he planned on joining the 2023 NBA Summer League. He got an invite from the Orlando Magic and made his debut in the Summer League, picking up 6.4 rebounds and a couple of blocks. But I genuinely think that this is a guy that should be given... I think give him a chance, man. There are teams where I'm like, 7'3" guys with touch don't grow on trees. I know he was with the Ignite. I know he went to Australia. He's jumped all around the world. But like, this is a good Latvia team. This is a good Latvia team, and Kai Sotto looked really good. Like, Kai Sotto genuinely looked really, really good in this game. So if I'm like one of these NBA teams that feel like you can develop players, especially with the Wemby unicorn build being a thing, I'm telling you, you can play him in the G League. He's still young. He was 22 a couple of weeks ago. This is a guy who, I'm telling you, if he was 20 years old, had he not gone to the Ignite for a year, by the way, had he not gone to the Ignite for a year, and then as a 65th ranked player and went straight to Australia, if he didn't go to the Ignite and went straight to Australia, this guy gets drafted. He's a 7'3" shooter. He's a 7'3" shooter with touch. He's nowhere near as skinny as he used to be watching his game. I was shocked at how much he's filled out. I'm telling you, he's not going to be this NBA star or anything. He's not going to be an NBA star. But, like, does this look like the same skinny Kai Sotto that we saw a couple of years ago in the G League? Does this look like, or does this look like 2023 or 2024 Kristaps Porzingis almost build? I'm telling you, Kai Sotto is one of these international gems. Genuinely one of these gems. I'm telling you, he's almost living up to like the hype that he had as a kid. Obviously, they thought that like he was going to be a superstar. It took him a while to develop. But the physical development, like I haven't seen much of Kai Sotto in 2 years. After he went to Australia, I kind of stopped watching him. He's this skinny kid who didn't really have a position. No, man, the guy is filled out. He's still shooting the ball well. And I'm telling you, an NBA team, especially if you want that money, you do not understand how many jerseys you will sell. You do not understand. You will have one of the biggest celebrities in the entire of the NBA. Like, you guys don't. For NBA teams, I was about to say I was like selling jerseys, but like obviously it's probably a bit different due to like the like wealth of people in, or the lack of wealth a lot of the time in the Philippines. So maybe not a bunch of money, but you would get the crazy fans. You would get the crazy fans. I'm telling you, that would be, if you want the guaranteed first voting in all Stars, go and take Kai Sotto. If you want an entire country, a big country at that, to be a fan of your team, go take Kai Sotto. Because he's 100 times better than Bronny James. Look, teams are taking Bronny James. Teams want to take Bronny James. They're like, oh yeah, we'll take him for, look, it's LeBron's kid. We'll make him better. And then also be like, oh yeah, you know, it'll help us with jersey sales. And some people are always saying that with LiAngelo, being like, you know what, put LiAngelo on the team. It'll help with stuff like that. This guy's actually good. He's actually good.